Your top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. President Ali says farm declared to Integrity Commission carries a huge loan. GTUC demands independent probe into President's ranch, calls for Commission of Inquiry, wants former President's benefits bill withdrawn. AG calls on RDC'S and NDC'S to use legal powers to curb squatting. And double homicide under probe. Families seek justice after 2 men shot dead at Vigilance South. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Thursday, July 9 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what we're tracking at this hour. President Irfan Ali has fired back hard at opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed, insisting his farm was never a secret, denying any special state benefit, and accusing Mohammed of using lies, exaggeration, and blackmail to manufacture a political scandal. Here's more in this story.
President Irfan Ali has rejected claims that his farm was a new discovery, saying that the property has long been public information and was known even to opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed. In a public statement after returning home from the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, Ali said there is nothing hidden about the farm and that every investment in it can be accounted for. He accused Mohammed of trying to present the issue as a major revelation while already knowing about the existence of the farm. Ali said the property was built through legitimate means, carries a major loan, and has been declared to the Integrity Commission, both while he was in and out of government.
My farm is not a discovery. It is public information, including the discoverer himself. He himself knows about the existence of my farm.
He argued that the same conditions applied to other leased lands along the highway also apply to his property. According to the president, Mohammed exaggerated both about the size and value of the farm.
I have not sought any special treatment, any benefit, any investment by the state. My farm carries a huge loan, and everything has been disclosed to the Integrity Commission in and out of government.
The president said he was being accused of engineering matters that were not under his control. He also repeated his claim that he had been targeted with blackmail. Ali said he received a text message as recently as Friday warning that recordings would be released if he did not end all this madness and malice.
Unlike Azruddin Mohammed, who still have to account to Integrity Commission, unlike him, who did not have to take a single loan for the wealth he accumulated, I am not in that category or bracket.
He said he intends to go live from the farm from time to time so citizens can see the property for themselves and judge the allegations directly. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, pressure continues to mount on President Irfan Ali over questions surrounding his reported 150-acre ranch, with the Guyana Trades Union Congress now joining growing calls for an independent investigation. The GTUC says the issue is bigger than politics, arguing that public confidence in the presidency is at stake and demanding full accountability. More details in this report. The Guyana Trades Union Congress is demanding the immediate establishment of an independent commission of inquiry into President Irfan Ali's reported 150-acre ranch, saying the Guyanese public deserves full transparency over how the property was acquired and developed. In a strongly worded statement, the GTUC said the inquiry must be free from executive influence and vested with the authority to summon witnesses, examine public records, review the involvement of state agencies, and determine whether public resources, tax concessions, or any benefits connected to the office of the president were used in the establishment or expansion of the ranch. The umbrella trade union body also questioned whether the responsibilities of the presidency are compatible with the ownership and the management of a private commercial enterprise of that magnitude while serving as head of state. According to the GTUC, public office is a public trust and must never create the perception that political power can be used for personal gain or private advantage. The union dismissed arguments that the president's long-standing interest in farming adequately addresses the concerns being raised, insisting that the issue is not about agriculture, but about accountability, transparency, and possible conflicts of interest. The GTUC also called for the immediate withdrawal of the 2026 former president's benefits bill, describing the proposed legislation as an unjust burden on taxpayers that would expand benefits for former head of states at a time when many Guyanese are still struggling with the high cost of living. Warning against viewing the matter through a partisan lens, the GTUC said the controversy strikes at the heart of integrity in public office and urged all Guyanese to support an independent inquiry. The statement adds that the nation deserves answers, workers deserve accountability, and public office must remain an instrument of service, not a pathway to privilege. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Attorney General Anil Nandlal says local authorities cannot sit back while illegal structures are being erected, warning regional democratic councils and neighborhood democratic councils that they have the power to act before squatting becomes a full-blown problem. There is more.
Attorney General and the Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal says regional democratic councils RDC'S and neighborhood democratic councils NDC'S must do more to prevent and remove illegal structures within their communities. Speaking on his program Issues in the News on Tuesday evening, Nandlal pointed to the government's zero-tolerance position on squatting and said local authorities have wide powers under the law to act against illegal encumbrances. He said RDC'S and NDC'S can serve notices, take persons to court, demolish illegal structures while they are being erected, or request help from central government where necessary.
The law doesn't recognize squatters. So when you squat, you expose yourself.
Nandlal argued that local authorities must act early, especially during the construction stage, rather than waiting until illegal buildings are completed.
Both of these local authority organs have wide-ranging powers under different pieces of legislation to remove encumbrances from public reserve.
According to Nandlal, early action would allow councils to, quote-unquote, nip the thing in the bud before it becomes a larger issue. The Attorney General also encouraged the RDC'S and the NDC'S to retain lawyers to help them better understand and use their legal powers.
And you are to use those powers. Serve notices, take the persons to court, or use the power to demolish the buildings as they are being erected.
He said local authorities are required to perform legal functions set out in various laws. And while those laws have been made available to them, legal guidance may still be necessary. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
The wait is finally over for citizens 18 years and older who do not have access to a bank account or choose not to provide their banking information for unspecified reasons. This category of citizens are now eligible to register online. Marvin Cato reports.
Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, on Wednesday informed the nation that the National Cash Grant Initiative has now moved to its final phase, whereby persons desirous of payment by check could do so by registering. The ministry has so far processed payments totaling 47 billion Guyana dollars to 470,420 eligible Guyanese.
This third phase is the phase that is intended particularly to benefit those persons who do not have bank accounts or who, for reasons best known to themselves, would prefer to have their cash grant delivered to them by way of checks.
According to Dr. Singh, the initiative has progressed smoothly since its implementation, with hundreds of thousands of citizens receiving their payments directly into their bank accounts. Now, with the commencement of the third phase, eligible persons are expected to visit the ministry's website and self-register.
The portal that is located at cashgrant.gov.gy now has an option for persons to self-register, but to select as their preferred option for the delivery of their cash grant the modality of a check.
Applicants will be required to provide their identification details, scan their ID cards, and complete the portal's verification process, including a liveness check, to confirm that they are real persons. Once the application is submitted, government officials will conduct eligibility verification before processing the records and preparing checks for distribution. Dr. Singh explained that recipients will be notified when their checks are ready for pickup. The first phase of the rollout focused on direct deposits for public servants, central government employees, and persons who self-registered through the official Cash Grant portal and provided their banking information. Marvin Cato, reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Quartz has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not in the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person whose information on the PLE is incorrect can apply for such information to be changed or corrected. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the relevant original source document, birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Tuesday, July 14, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. Thousands of students who wrote the National Grade 6 assessment will know the schools they will attend, as the Ministry of Education is set to release the results in just over 12 hours. Marvin Cato is on this story.
Pupils across Guyana are anxiously awaiting Friday's announcement of the National Grade 6 Assessment NGSA results so they can know which schools they will be attending when the new academic school year commences in September. The 2026 examination marks one of the most significant events in the country's education calendar, and leading up to the examinations, the Ministry of Education pulled out all the stops in preparing the students with a series of math-10 engagements across all administrative regions, use of the digital platform to prepare students, and extra lessons. The examination was written at the end of April. The results will be announced at the Advertisements Conference Center, where education officials are expected to reveal the top performing pupils, regional performances, and national statistics. The annual announcement signals the conclusion of months of preparation by more than 15,000 grade 6 pupils, and it will determine placement into secondary schools for the upcoming academic year. Education officials are also expected to outline overall performance trends, subject analyses, and improvements in student achievement while recognizing the country's highest performers. The NGSA remains the principal examination used to assess pupils at the end of their primary education and facilitates placement into public secondary schools across Guyana. Placement is based on candidates' performance, available spaces at schools, and the choices submitted by parents or guardians. Over the years, the Ministry of Education has implemented several reforms aimed at improving learning outcomes at the primary level. These include expanded teacher training, curriculum enhancement, increased distribution of learning resources, strengthened literacy and numeracy programs, the integration of digital learning tools, and greater support for pupils in hinterland and riverine areas. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
CARICOM leaders are moving a step closer to establishing the long-awaited intra-regional ferry service, with Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley leading the way. Trinidad and Tobago is also set to play an integral role in launching the pilot program aimed at reducing the high cost of cargo transportation across the Caribbean. Antonio Day reports.
Caribbean community leaders announced a major step forward to improve regional transport, with Trinidad and Tobago expected to pilot the first inter-regional ferry service to lower freight costs and increase trade between Caribbean countries. On the final day of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley told the media that Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Kamal Basad has agreed to look at the use of one of her country's ferries as a proof of concept, while a permanent private sector-operated service is being developed. The cost of moving cargo between Caribbean islands is now a priority, she said, as geopolitical tensions push up the price of fuel, shipping, and essential goods, putting more pressure on the cost of living in the region.
The major initiative that we want to be able to do is to reduce the costs of cargo for intra-island trade.
While CARICOM remains committed to establishing a long-term ferry service operated by the private sector, it could take as long as a year to obtain the right vessels, she said. In the meantime, Mottley said she will lead discussions with St. Vincent and Grenadines Prime Minister Godwin Friday, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamal Basad to determine how one of the ferries from Trinidad and Tobago can be used to launch a pilot program. She also promised to collaborate with regional partners to establish the required treaty arrangements for mutual recognition of driver's licenses, insurance, and other legal requirements to allow cargo vehicles to move seamlessly between participating countries.
Pending the private sector arrangements, which may take as long as a year because they have to source vessels, and we are now about to enter discussions, Prime Minister Friday from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Basad and myself as lead on CSME, to see how best we can utilize one of the Trinidad vessels as a proof of concept.
The ferry initiative aims to reduce transportation costs and inflation in the Caribbean, improving goods movements and economic resilience. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
On the police blotter, police are investigating a brazen double homicide on the east coast of Demerara after two men were gunned down by heavily armed assailants on a motorcycle at Vigilance South. While investigators work to determine a motive, grieving relatives insist at least one of the victims may have been an innocent bystander. Here's that story. Police are investigating a double homicide after two men were shot dead during a brazen attack at Vigilance South, East Coast Demerara on Wednesday night. Dead are 22-year-old Wash Bay attendant Cordell August of Strathspey, East Coast Demerara, and 35-year-old Eon Headley of Vigilance South. Investigators say the two men were among a group of persons gathered at a shop shortly after 10 o'clock Wednesday night when two men dressed in black arrived on a motorcycle and opened fire before fleeing the scene. Both victims sustained multiple gunshot wounds and were rushed by public-spirited citizens to the Enmore Regional Hospital, where doctors pronounced them dead on arrival. As police continue their investigations, relatives are searching for answers. August's sister told Nightly News that her brother was not part of the gathering where the shooting occurred. She said he had been socializing elsewhere and had only gotten onto his bicycle to visit a relative when the gunfire erupted. She believes the 22-year-old was an unintended victim who was struck by stray bullets.
Cordell just leave off and ride off. So apparently, he ride into the scene because he was on a bicycle. Because he get 3 shots, one to his left side, one on his right side, and one on his left shoulder.
She is pleading with investigators to identify and arrest those responsible.
I need justice. I just need justice for Cordell because it's not that Cordell do anybody anything that they come for take his life just like that.
Meanwhile, Sharon Headley, the mother of Eon Headley, said she's struggling to understand why her son was killed. She told Nightly News that she's unaware of her son being involved in any criminal activity and questioned what could have motivated such a deadly attack.
None that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of. This a child is not a problem child, but if you're wrongy, you stand up for his rights.
The grieving mother is also appealing to police to intensify their investigations and bring those responsible before the courts.
Very much glad if I can get justice. Very much glad if I can get justice because I can't see you just driving, riding past and you shooting at people like that. It's not a board.
Police have since processed the crime scene and recovered evidence as investigators pursue leads into the execution-style shooting. No arrests have been made. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. This is the HGP Nightly News.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Courts has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Courts, bringing value home.
Thanks for staying tuned here to the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that as part of developing better cognition through early childhood development programs, Dr. Vindya Prasad is advocating for digital devices to not be introduced to children under the ages of 2. Antonio Day reports.
Children below the age of 2 should have no screen time. That's not my rule. Why? Because in that time, you have some of the important brain development.
That was Dr. Vindya Prasad, Minister of Human Services and Social Security, during the opening of the second Early Childhood Development Conference on Wednesday at the RDC'S Conference Center. The minister, who is a pediatrician by profession, emphasized the crucial role parents play in shaping their child's behavior and development through the experiences and information they introduce to them. Dr. Prasad added that children tend to observe and imitate what they observe, making parental awareness a vital factor in fostering healthy growth. She noted too that the introduction of digital devices to young children must be done with moderation and modulation.
As they get older, You're probably thinking, well, it's all right, give them the tablet 2 hours a day. No, 2 hours a week. The digital world is all over. We can't escape it, but we have to be measured in our approach to the digital world and make sure that when children are growing up, they are exposed to the best of everything.
Some child psychologists, both locally and regionally, recommend introducing books and academic reading materials to stimulate early childhood cognition, in addition to the use of digital devices. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We don't want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change, correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone whom you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GCOM registration offices will open Monday to Friday from 8 to 18 hours, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
With this edition of Regional News, I am Giselle Archibald. In Jamaica, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is warning the public against a fraudulent overseas recruitment scheme being advertised on social media. In a statement, the ministry said a flyer currently circulating online promoting mass recruitment drive for farm work opportunities in Canada in Old Harbour, St. Catherine has not been authorized by the ministry. The ministry reminded the public that it is the only entity in Jamaica legally authorized to recruit and dispatch Jamaican farm workers for overseas employment. As a result, it is urging prospective job seekers to exercise extreme caution when responding to advertisements or recruitment exercises promoting overseas farm work opportunities. Heads of governments of the Caribbean Community CARICOM meeting for the 51st regular meeting in St. Lucia reaffirmed their unwavering solidarity with the people of Haiti and their continued commitment to supporting Haiti's effort to restore community, strengthen democratic institutions, and return to constitutional governance. The conference welcomes the efforts undertaken by its Prime Minister to strengthen national security, advance the electoral process, and lay the foundation for free, credible, inclusive, and peaceful elections. And internationally, Iran's slain supreme leader was laid to rest on Thursday at the country's holiest shrine, with his son and successor still hidden from public view after being disfigured in the strike that killed his father. The burial in Iran follows a week of mass funeral processions, rallies, and mourning ceremonies. Meanwhile, the United States and Iran traded strikes on Thursday for the second day running. U.S. forces said the latest attack against Iran were aimed at their ability to threaten the freedom of navigation in the strait, citing recent strikes against commercial ships in the waterway. The strikes killed 3 people and wounded several others in Iran, official news agency reported on Thursday. And that's the news to the moment. Thank you for joining us.
Let's join Delvin Neblet now for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delvin Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Thursday, July 9, 2026. We begin tonight with martial arts. The Mixed Martial Arts Association of Guyana are set to compete in the 2026 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Invictus Open Invitational from July 11 to 12th at the Chinese Portal in Paramaribo, Suriname. Managed by head coach and three-time IGG Caribbean and Brazilian BJJ champion John Campaign, Team Guyana also features women's coach Teresa Menes, team captain Maheen Scott, Craig Harlequin, Ryan Cox, Joshua Giddings, Aaron Udram, Joshua Balkisoon, and Shane Bennett. Inter-chess action concluded in the Guyana Chess Federation's 2026 National Junior Chess Qualifiers at Olympic House in Liliendaal on Wednesday. Candidate Master Sachin Pitambar emerged as champion after a well-earned victory over Alex Ubaldo Singh in the final round. Woman candidate Master Aditi Joshi finished in second place with 5.5 points, as Alexander Zhang, Katalay Sam, and Jeremy Cole jointly finished in third place, each with 5 points. The top 9 players have now officially qualified for the 2026 National Junior Championship along with defending champion Kyle Couchman. Moving into basketball, Team Guyana suffered a disappointing loss on the opening day of their FIBA AmeriCup 2029 Caribbean Pre-Qualifiers campaign. Despite a valiant effort from leading scorer Kevin Mickle, who put up 24 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals, the hosts incurred a 13-point defeat, losing 68-55 to the Turks and Caicos Islands. Earlier in the day, Barbados defeated the Cayman Islands 89-54 as St. Vincent and the Grenadines defeated Grenada 85-66. Antigua and Barbuda also got off to a winning start with a commanding 82-50 victory over Bermuda. Into hockey, several of Guyana's top hockey clubs are set to compete in the inaugural IPH Outdoor Tournament from July 9 to 12th in Trinidad and Tobago. Guyana will be represented by Old Fort men, GCC men and women, as well as Shane and Friends Elite. The Guyana Hockey Board has extended their best wishes to all teams as they travel to represent both their clubs and country. The tournament is expected to give the local players valuable regional experience and exposure to an enhanced quality of competition. Finally, in rugby, as part of the Guyana Police Force's 187th anniversary celebrations, the Guyana Police Force Falcons are set to host their 2026 Rugby Sevens tournament at the Police Sports Club ground, Eve Leary, on Saturday. Commencing at 13 hours, patrons can expect an entertaining day of rugby as 3 teams, the GDF Rugby Club, the Pepsi Hornets, and the host, the GPF Falcons, battle for ultimate supremacy. The highly anticipated event will allow free admission to all patrons. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
Ali says farm declared to Integrity Commission carries huge loan. GTUC demands independent probe into President's ranch, calls for commission of inquiry, and wants the former President's benefits bill withdrawn. AG calls on RDC'S and NDC'S to use legal powers to curb squatting. And double homicide under probe. Families seek justice after 2 men shot dead at Vigilance South. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.